Hi guys, welcome to Knowledge Finder. Today we've got a special guest on the show, Jeffery Edahs, the founder of Kaizen Pips. He's here today to tell us a bit more about investing and what sensible things we can do with our money. So welcome Jeffrey, how's it going?
All good, thank you, thank you.
So before we get into your business, tell us a bit about yourself and how you got into the finance industry and setting up your own company.
Okay, so it all started around 2016, 17. Okay, so I was interested in Forex, interested in trading, but I never really understood how it works. And was just kind of just curious to see what it's about. And then managed to join a company, which went on to teach me like nearly everything I know about the Forex industry and the markets and how everything works. And I just found that fascinating because I was like, this has existed since the 1800s, but not many people know about it or understand how to get into it or know the path to actually take to actually do it. So when I found out that it's one, legal, two, the banks do it on a daily basis, and three, people actually making a living from it, I was just intrigued. So from there, I just literally started learning everything I could, and then literally my journey started from there. Working at Microsoft at the time, and then kind of getting carried away. So I was on my desk thinking I could be trading right now, making equivalent money to what I'm making on my desk or more on a daily basis. So it gave me extra motivation. So every time I was on a train, with armpit to my face and it was stuffy and everything else, I was like, yeah, I need to get out of here basically. So that was my motivation to actually learn it properly and actually start shifting on from there. So yeah, going on about 3.5 years now, managing to do it full time now for the last year or so. It's been a blessing. It's been a blessing, and yeah, I'll say that's how the career started, and where we are right now is we're growing. So
Okay, so tell me a bit about your career journey then, like in terms of education.
okay, so education wise, so like I said, I started through the company that I learned nearly everything from for about 2 years, and then kind of left and started doing my own thing. So what I'm doing now is I've created my own kind of path for learning for beginners. So they could come onto the platform like not knowing much about trading, and then I've created a whole course. I've created a community where they can literally interact with other people that are learning at the same time, and like that we're all kind of learning and growing together. So they see me as like the kind of leader. I never say I'm the boss or whatever else. I see it as I want to start something. I want to start a movement, and everyone else is coming on board, and we're kind of winning together. So that's the kind of community we created. So Kaizen Pips offers the education, the support, and the guidance for new acquainted traders to actually be self-sufficient and actually make their money on a daily basis for themselves. So that's what we offer.
Okay, so where do they go to find this?
Okay, so you could go kaizenpipsology.co.uk, and on that page you'll be able to kind of see why we trade the way we trade, because 95% of the world trade a certain way and the other 5% trade in a certain way. I like to say 4%, because 4 is my favorite number, and when you actually look at the stats, then you see that 96% of people are failing, doing the same thing, following the crowds, which we call sheep, and the 4% are thinking outside the box and doing things slightly differently. So yeah, we just literally offer that platform where you can actually come on board, choose a plan that works for you. It's just either like through the course, or you can come into live group sessions, or you can even purchase a book, which you might come onto in the future. So yeah.
Yeah, so let's speak about the book. It's the Smart Money Guide.
Yeah, that's correct.
So yes, what's that about?
So literally the whole reason I created this book was because I had many people messaging me saying, oh, you know what, I can't quite afford a course, I haven't got money for this right now. And I was like, you know what, what's the quick way to connect with people that is very affordable and it's kind of like a guide? And that's why the name came the Smart Money Guide, because the way we trade is called Smart Money, the Smart Money way, and then the guide is just like giving them a brief intro into all the things they need to look at to actually trade. But obviously it doesn't go into in-depth as the course, but it gives them very good touch points to say, cool, I need to look at this, I need to look at that, and I could go away with this. So the book literally came about just purely because of that. And it took me about 3 weeks, I think, or 3 weeks to a month to write, and then just managed to publish it. So yeah, it's published on Amazon now, so you can search on Amazon if you want, and also you can find it on kaizenpipsology.co.uk website also. So yeah, the book is available to purchase now, and just a smart money guide.
Great. So if you haven't already, go on Amazon, type in Smart Money Guide and look for Jeffery Edahs and buy the book. And just for the viewers, what's the process of publishing a book? Because that's pretty interesting to write a book, turn it around in 3 weeks and then put it out there.
Yeah.
So how do you go about publishing a book?
So this is why I say many people are sheep, because a lot of people think a lot of things are difficult without even looking into it.
Yeah.
And when you actually look into things, you realize a lot of things are easier to do than you probably imagine. But because you've never done it before, you just have this idea in your head that, that person's done it and it's impossible, unless I had this amount of money and you have to go through this process. But if you just actually look at the basics of it, it's quite simple. So simply, I just went onto Amazon, KDP, and I said, I basically want to publish a book. So I typed it in, I saw what the processes were, and all you have to basically do is basically write a book, actually have some pages done, make a front cover, put the page titles and all this kind of stuff. Basically, just format it like you would normally get a book. Yeah. Once you do that, you send it to them for approval. Make sure like everything is copyrighted properly and you're not just stealing someone's book and publishing it to make some money. And then they do those checks. And literally, my checks took about a day. Yeah. I literally sent it to them, let's say on a Tuesday. By Wednesday afternoon, it came back to me and said, yeah, we're good to go. And then literally approved it, published it, and that was it. So the Kindle version, Amazon got various deals you could do by read by page. So you get paid by the page that people read instead of buying the whole book up front. Yeah. Or they could just buy it for the Kindle version straight away. With the Amazon print, what you do is you don't have no inventory of that book. What they do is once someone buys it, let's just say the book is like the Kaizen Pipsology book, the printed version is £14. Amazon takes £6 out of that for the print, delivering and the whole lot, and then you keep what's left after that. And then as simple as that, you start making some money off a product that you've again residually start earning from. Literally write a book once and you get paid every day from it or whenever someone purchases. So it's quite simple.
Okay, so Amazon take care of the print like you mentioned, so there's no need to source a third party to do that for you. No storage,
no third party. Amazon take care of the whole lot. So it makes it quite simple just to kind of, again, if you're someone that's interested in cooking or something else that you want to write about, you can literally just do it, and then you get small margins here and there, and those margins add up. But it's something that you've put your name out there for. It's one, good publications, it's good for your publicity, and it's just another extension to kind of people you might not be able to reach in whatever other ways.
Okay, so from starting out just in the working world, and like I say, I've known you for a long time, what's made you stay on this path of trading, building legitimate companies and not getting sidetracked by distractions?
Okay, so I'll say, again, the main thing was my motivation. Like I say, I'll never forget the long journeys into work, waking up early in the morning. I was never really an early morning person, but considering saying that, now I'm really an early morning person. I wake up at 6:45 every day to trade, just to look at the markets, London open, and I'm like, right, cool, let's go. But again, maybe it's because I'm passionate about this now. That's the difference. But so why I decided to stay on this path, because we all know the financial industry is probably one of the best industries to be in, alongside many others. But for me personally, the finance industry controls the world. We see how things run just by the banks doing what they're doing, changing interest rates, so on and so forth. And then for me, trading just clicked. It was like a legit way to make a lot of money, just sitting in my beds, in my boxes, if I wanted to, or even naked. Who knows? But it's a way where it gives you that freedom. Where again, in January, I went to Kenya. It allowed me that freedom to still make money while I was on holiday. People still buying my courses, asking for mentorship, and I'm on holiday. I'm looking at zebras and lions and the whole lot, but I'm still making money at the same time. So that industry and trading in itself, it allows you the freedom just to make money on the go. Again, we live in the 21st century where nearly everything's digital. So if you don't know how to make money digitally right now, you'll be stuck in life and in the rat race for a long time. So these kind of skills are transferable as well. So when I teach someone and they've made a certain amount of money, that makes me personally happy. I don't care how much money they've made. It could be £10. It could be £10,000. I don't care. It's like they've made that much money to like enhance their life in some kind of way. So that makes me personally fulfilled. And again, I just find some passion in it where, again, like I said, the freedom of actually just making the money from anywhere. So that's why I decided to stay on this path and start companies where we could start working on things like that.
Okay. So as a black male in this industry, how has it treated you so far in terms of building a financial company, or would you class yourself as a financial advisor now?
In some kind of ways. I won't say I have the qualifications to call myself a full-on financial advisor. I'm not going to start advising people on tax and things like that. But in regards to advice of what path I've taken and how to go about it and how you can learn, in that kind of way, I'll say yes, I am an advisor. But one thing being a black male in this industry, because we all, as we all know, we have a certain perception just due to the media and so on and so forth. When I do walk into certain buildings or certain environments, I feel like I have to kind of carry myself in a different way just to say, all right, this person is actually doing their thing. They're just not here for the sake of it and here for fun. And then you feel like you need to do that so they actually do take you seriously. And I've never been that way where I've been that conscious. I'm just going to do my thing, and whoever sees it kind of thing. But when you want to get to a certain level, when you're kind of talking about partnerships now and investments and things like that, you have to come at you have to put more effort into it. Is the simplest way to say it. Just to get that kind of respect from the peers in the building or from the company. So it's an interesting one to talk about because we could go into so many different layers, but from the standpoint, it's just like you need to get yourself into the building because these are kind of industries run by, let's just say, white males. Okay, so if you're in that category now, you have to kind of be on par with them. And the education we have, some people are not so lucky to run into that information as early as maybe some white families might be able to. So you're coming to the game a bit later, so they might know a little bit more than you, or you might be playing catch up, or even if you're gone past them now, then now you have to start thinking, all right, cool, I have to gain their respect so they know exactly what I'm talking about. They know my credentials, and then from there you start building a platform where you can actually enhance yourself as well. So there's many layers to it that we can go into, and I'm trying to think what's the clearest, concise way to put it, but yeah, we'll be here forever.
So why do you think there is a lack of, I don't know, black-owned finance companies from insurance to banks, or there's not that I know of, like, there's not a major black bank in England or a major black-owned insurer or something like that. So why do you think that is?
Again, I think it's just literally just the upbringing and the limitations some black families might put on themselves. Okay, so growing up, we always get taught to go to school, get a good education, get a secure job, get married, and then retire at some time when you can hardly walk no more, jump around, and that's not a life that most people want to live. Okay, so I feel like we put limitations on ourselves, and again, it might be down to race because some people don't say, there's a lot of white people in that company, I can't go there, I'm not going to feel comfortable there, or they won't hire me, so there's no point applying. So again, there's a lot of limitations some black people might put on themselves. Plus, if you're going back centuries, there's information we wasn't even allowed to actually have access to. We wasn't even allowed to read at some point. Okay, so with some families growing up in that generation and passing it on, then naturally some people are just going to limit themselves by default. Okay, and maybe it's the way the system's built. Maybe we need to break that. But now I believe there's no excuses no more. There's more than enough information out there for people to get for free and paid. Okay, yes, obviously if you pay for something, then you might not have the finances for it, but the information you'll be getting will be worth way more than what you paid for. Okay, so again, there's literally no excuses where people should hold themselves back no more. And with companies popping up all over the place trying to fill that gap, like there's literally no excuses no more.
Yeah,
so
that's true. I agree.
100%.
No, I agree. I just wanted to get your take on that. So before we close, is there any advice you would give to a young entrepreneur that wants to start a business or wants to get into trading or other aspects of the financial industry?
Yeah, so I think one of the main challenges I found was actually understanding how to actually create a company. Okay, because again, this is something that's so simple, but people believe it's the hardest thing in the world. Literally, to start a company costs £12. Okay, you just literally go to a company's house, you find if the name's taken. If it's not, you register a company. Okay, then from there, obviously, you start have to thinking about tax. You start have to thinking about kind of the registered VAT tax once you go past a certain level of income, like things like that. So again, those are the kind of little researches you have to do past that. But again, you can talk to financial advisors to get the right information, tax advisors, accountants, all these kind of things. But the main thing for me is understanding that a company can be built from scratch. Okay, and I'm evident of that. I'm kind of working on a second company now that we're actually building, Forex MMA, coming soon. You'll find out more about that in due time. But the first company I built was an online-based company. So I literally went from zero to doing, it's doing numbers, and we're quite happy about that.